T. Colin Campbell was the keynote speaker, and he brought such valuable information, but Dr. Hannah was no slouch. She was excellent, brought timely information. And then, I know you said one thing, but ultimately, so many people came, people were hungry for the information, and it's just so good to see the movement really taking shape and gaining traction.
Dr. Campbell's presentation was very powerful. I wish it had a little bit more time, but his solidified a lot of things that I knew but I didn't know in depth. Protein, animal protein, is an activator that can activate cancer. And that is powerful. I work in the health industry, I work in a hospital, and knowing that it helps give you more, it gives you more enthusiasm to share that with especially people that are suffering a lot of different conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, and cancer. So I'm happy to get this information.
It was awesome. It was actually beyond what I imagined it to be, because I'm into plant-based, and I really believe that plant-based can make a difference, because it made a big difference in my life. Back in 2016, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I was able to reverse it on a total whole food plant-based diet. Though that's important, not just a plant-based, but it must be a whole food plant-based diet.
It's nice to see that we have scientific evidence that support what we've been practicing all these years. That was one of the good things, you know. I take away. It was very scientific, and also Rico Hill make it fun. So it has a good combination, a lot of data, and also fun in presenting the data. Yes, and it was also good to see so many people here.
I was reminded of the fact that God fed the people only twice with manna. I remember that there was a man that was, depressed, and the ravens came and gave him water and bread twice a day. I remember that one, but I didn't think about the manna only being given twice. So that was a big takeaway for me, that's like emphasis that 2 meals is sufficient.
I'm truly blessed because I listened to all of the presentation that was done, and one of the things that is the thread in all of this, it is all biblically based. The science is catching up with the scriptures. And I'm amazed at that, because Rico Hill, the presenter that was talking some biblical languages and stuff like that, it's amazing that this stuff was all meshing together. And I'm sure that there's some critics who are not believing in the scriptures and thinking that everything is just scientific. But God is the greatest scientist of all.
The impetus for me was because I noticed that my family was starting to die at very young ages, and I wanted to see that what was in my genetic makeup that I could change that was involved. So I was on both sides of my family, and what I discovered was that the people who had left the South and moved to the North were living longer. So I continued to research it, and nutrition came up to be a topic, and that's what got me started.
And somebody said, I don't know if it was Rico that said, that it's not good to treat your body like a casket, putting dead things in it. I thought that was amazing. So I feel indeed blessed, and I feel honored to be here and to share in this wonderful program that was presented today by Heidi's Kitchen.
Personally, I did it 7 years ago. I used to be taking medication for high blood pressure for 15 years. And I turned plant-based, and I'm free from taking any sort of medication. So I'm a living testimony. And I used to be overweight. Now I'm enjoying full health. But this summit is really important for New York. And I predict that it's going to be so big and huge. So everybody who wants to invest in this summit can come and take part. And it's going to be, because it's going to help everybody in society to restore people back to normal health, which is natural, just by living the plant-based life.
For this movement, wow, that it will cover the earth as the waters cover the sea. Yeah, New York is becoming the symbol of this, and it is said that in New York, when somebody sneezes, the world catches the cold. Yeah, so as New York runs with it, the whole world is going to run with it. and I believe it will lessen the suffering in our world today. There's a lot of suffering, and there's so much evidence that a plant-based nutrition really will lower the sufferings in the world today.
This summit could be so big in New York. Listen, this is just the beginning, just the tip of the iceberg. And I could see this thing, the amount of people that are here, and people, a lot of friends that just came by. This could be such a big thing in the future.